Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let me make sure you can hear me. I think you can. All right. And Fancy, thank you so much for being here first. Ah, Ingrid Sowers, thank you for being here, Ingrid. And Mary H. Jesse Jose. And just a couple of other people. Oh, boy. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Ouch, my herniated disc. Oh. Okay. Never herniate your disc. Hey, Bunny Rose. Okay. Anyway, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Let's see. What do I have for pain? I think I'll try this. All right. That should work. Be sure your seat backs and tray tables are in the upright lock position. Please observe the no smoking sign. Also, please observe the seatbelt sign. Yeah, when you're having pain, you got to take something a little stronger. Hello, Maxine Lawrence from South Africa. Does anybody know what this spells? Can anybody make out that spelling? Huh? What does that spell? Anybody? Oh, come on. I'll give you a chance to figure it out. What does that spell? Yes, April, May. It spells Chicago. Sure does. Yeah, that actually spells Chicago. Oh, wow. A few of you guys got it, huh? Very good. Very good. All right. Yes, it spells Chicago. Is it that obvious? Okay. I thought I would have you guys over the barrel for a minute, but no, you got it. You got it. Very good. It spells Chicago. I love that. There's a company that sells like a big wall poster with the Chicago spelled out in that. It almost seems like a Greek key design. Yeah. But yeah, I love that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So this is the new limited edition, the Sweetheart Bundle. Yes, this is Meghan Sussex's new Sweetheart Bundle. You know what? That is what I did not do. I just realized that I do not have the you know, the okay, give me a second. I'll get the but I am totally missing the and it just does not work without it. So let me grab that and then I will sort that out directly. Okay. All right. Take me to asever.com. Wonderful. And then I'll give you the lowdown on the new bundle. I'm looking to see what's different about this bundle compared to the other bundle. You know what? It is missing the candle and the flower sprinkle and the hibiscus tea. So this one is only $92 compared to the other bundle, which cost $185. Or as I like to say, now you change the price. Meghan Sussex, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me, Meghan Sussex? Now I want to get this one too. Yeah, now I want this one too. Okay. So that is what's different. It does not have the hibiscus tea, the flower sprinkles, and the candle. But other than that, it looks almost identical to the untrained eye. So, yes, here it is. Sorry about that, you guys. I got it. I got what I'm looking for. I just wanted to have the information about the bundle, and that I have here. It says, "You ask, we listen. The Sweetheart Bundle brings together some of our most loved treats in keepsake packaging, made for gifting, sharing, or savoring slowly. Thoroughly curated and beautifully presented, we're bringing you this limited edition bundle just in time for Valentine's Day. Inside, you'll find our signature chocolate collection, created in collaboration with Compartes Chocolate, alongside our raspberry spread, our strawberry spread, each dressed in limited edition, ready to gift packaging. Is a trio designed for easy romance, heartfelt gestures, and everyday moments that call for something a little sweeter. Yes, something a little sweeter. Whether you're celebrating someone special or treating yourself, this bundle makes it simple to give something memorable. No wrapping required. Limited edition, available while supplies last. Now, did I hear someone say, "What's inside?" I said, "Did I hear?" Oh, never mind. It's implied, right? Yes, it's implied. Oh, let's see. Oh, I just got a PayPal. Thank you so much for that. The name starts with M. Yeah, it starts with M. But for the sake of privacy, I don't want to say the name. But thank you so much for that. That's very thoughtful of you. I really appreciate that. Okay, so since nobody asked, I'll tell you what's inside. The limited edition features signature chocolate collection, features 4 handcrafted flavors: chocolate with strawberry spread, and brute. That's interesting. Dark chocolate with raspberry spread and sea salt. White chocolate with flower sprinkles and hemp hearts, and milk chocolate with shortbread cookies and bee pollen, each wrapped in a botanical print. I told you I'm crazy about that print. And it is ready to gift. Raspberry spread in a keepsake packaging, bright, vibrant, and perfectly tart sweet. Also, the strawberry spread in the keepsake packaging, classic, comforting, and endlessly giftable. Why you'll love it is this is why you'll love it. ready to gift in a special keepsake packaging, limited edition just for Valentine's Day, a customer favorite trio bundled by request and designed for sharing, celebrating, and savoring. You know what? I am convinced. Um, if I was going to give myself a gift, that's exactly what I would give me. Um, uh, anyway, so yes, just a little different from the other one, minus a few items. And again, it cost only $92. Yes, it's only $92. So if you're trying to figure out what you're going to gift your sweetheart for Valentine's Day, here's a great idea for you right here. They still have the limited edition white chocolate candy bars, and that comes with the flower sprinkles. And don't forget, they have candles. I'm trying to see what is sold out. Okay, everything that is sold out, I believe, has been removed from the shopping list. So you don't have to, go through that despair of trying to figure out whether or not this is sold out or is that sold out. All of the ones that are sold out, they have removed from the page. And so there's only what's available to shop for. And if you know a tea lover, let me tell you, the tea is fantastic. The tea is the tea, okay? And those premium candles, I don't think you could possibly go wrong with that either. So I'm excited. I'm excited. It's almost like I'm trying to sell my own products, right? Yeah, this does make me, and I'm happy for Meghan. I am happy for Meghan. Let's see. Maggie says, I never use it, just keep it, but she still doesn't send to Europe. Oh, Maggie, I know. I feel so bad about that. I feel so bad about that. And trust me, every time I talk about this, I know my excitement and enthusiasm has got to feel kind of, you know, like a ouch. But I do get excited and I do apologize for that. So just have faith. The shipping to other parts of the world is going to happen. Um, the products are still relatively new and they just have so much work to do to get this up and running and out to the wider world, but it is going to happen. And I think the fact that there's someone in Washington, D.C. that keeps playing around with all of the, what do you call that? The tariffs and all that kind of stuff, that doesn't help at all either. It's a tough time to do things like that. But anyway, have faith. It is coming. I promise. It is going to happen sooner or later. And Meghan started the day like this. She actually had the balloons and those beautiful red slippers. I don't know which dress that is. I'm not sure that we've ever seen that one before. I didn't see any information about it. But let's see. I wonder if I go to what Meghan wore, would I find it there? Let me see. Ah, yes, I do see it. The Roland Moray. It's a Roland Moray dress and the Dion slingback ruby velvet. Yeah, those are, you know, tell you what, let me go ahead and grab this photo so I can show you what it looks like up close. Would you like that? I'll grab this and show you what it looks like up close. Ah, there you go. Aren't those beautiful? Just perfect for Valentine's Day. Yeah, those are nice. Very cool, Duchess. Very cool. So there you go. The Roland Moray dress and those Doan. I tell you what, let me put the name. Let me put the name in the chat because I don't think I'm pronouncing it right. See there? Is that Doan? Doan slingback in ruby velvet. Yeah, I'm sure that's it. So again, that is what's shipping for the new bundle. You got the chocolates and you got the spreads instead of all the other stuff that you may not have wanted. And as you can see, as Meghan said, the packaging is just perfect and ready for gifting. You don't even have to wrap it. And of course, there's Meghan with the photo from the other day. Or was that 2 days ago? And enjoying breakfast. Looks like a waffle. I'm going to say that is waffle, some French toast, and a croissant. Okay, that is definitely the carbohydrate special breakfast. You have a croissant, a big fluffy, um, it looks like a waffle, but it may be maybe both of those are French toast. Anyway, that looks delicious, doesn't it? Sequoia Farms, thank you for joining us. Very nice. Now, one of the squatties shared this, and I thought it was very interesting because once again, you can see the language used for Prince Harry before he met the love of his life, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. The way they described him, like right here, it says, who would have thought that it would be the, what is that, the Larry Kidd brother, Prince Harry, in his smart suit and polished shoes and suitably somber expression on his face, that expression on his face, who did his bit for Queen and Commonwealth this week while Big Bro partied. So Harry is doing his royal duty and looking quite somber because we know how he feels about the military and the service people. This is the part of his job that he really, really loved, or should I say, the role. Perhaps we shouldn't be surprised William has known nothing but being spoiled, feeling important, and getting his own way. In contrast, Harry has spent 10 years in the Army, and he has had a proper military training, and he understands the concept of loyalty and service. His big brother appears to have little sense of duty. Instead, he nurtures a high-born sense of pique. Pique. Anyway, the squatty that posted this says, excuse me, this is what the Daily Mail said of Harry when he was sent to clean up the mess of embarrassment William getting drunk in Verbier, hands on women, while his brother was at home with their 4 and 2 year olds and ditching Queen Elizabeth at the 40th anniversary of Commonwealth Day service. Yeah, so Harry is really doing something that William should have been doing as the future king. This is that weekend where William went off to party. Everybody said, wow, Commonwealth Day is the most important day on the Queen's calendar. Commonwealth Day, the Queen's favorite day. And where's her grandson and future heir? He just took his family skiing. William just abruptly took his family skiing. But this was back in the days when they just didn't clean up his mess. No, they actually challenged him. Like right here, take a look. How could William embarrass Kate so publicly? Jan Moore says the prince's behavior on his ski trip exposes the Duchess to scrutiny and speculation about their marriage. This was back in 2017. What was that, 9 years ago? This was back in 2017. Today, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are in the French capital on an official visit. Paris in the springtime. How lovely, you might think. How darling, how perfect, yet also how tinged with calamity, both big and small, old and new. For beneath the immaculate hair and cemented on smile, one imagines that the Duchess must be seething. Yeah, because William humiliated his wife with the spectacle happening on the French Alps. Yeah, I guess William thought instead of going to Commonwealth Day, why don't we just go skiing in France? And then after that, then we'll go over to Paris. So that's what he did. He just totally ignored Commonwealth Day. Queen Elizabeth, I suppose, had no idea that this was happening. Harry was there. And then that's not it. That's not the only thing. It wasn't just this reporter or that reporter. I kind of believe at the time everybody was dragging him. Everybody. So that article, of course, is by Jan Moore. If you look on the right, this article is by hog-haired Pierce Morgan, who wrote an article claiming that Harry would make a much better king. Pierce Morgan, what a good king Harry would make. Sorry, William. I actually made a video from this article. And in the video, I didn't mention that those words were Pierce Morgan's. It wasn't until the end that I let people know that those were the words of Pierce Morgan, declaring Harry far more suitable for a king instead of William. Again, that was back in 2016. So William's antics at that time did not go unnoticed. Before Meghan, before the hate campaign from the tabloids, William and Kate were under constant scrutiny. Nowadays, of course, they pretty much get a free pass. William is not allowed to fail. Kate is not allowed to fail. Now, let me see. I'm going to get to that in just a second. Let me take a look at your comments. I didn't realize he ditched the Commonwealth service on a milestone anniversary, 40th. Yep. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And there was a lot of, excuse me, chatter about it. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I think we're good. I was just taking a glance at some of your comments. And let's get on to Lewis Hamilton. Well, it seems as though there is something that has sparked between Lewis Hamilton and Kim Kardashian. Um, they have spent a lot of time together recently, and for both of them, I'm pretty sure fans are kind of like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Probably his fans more than her fans, because let's face it, whether it's fair or unfair, there's always a bit of skepticism about Kim Kardashian and her choice of partners, if you will. But maybe right now they're just kind of learning about each other. But it seems like they're an item. It seems like they're dating at least. But I don't know. They make a handsome couple, and we all know that Kim has a certain taste in men, so we'll see what happens. I wish them the best. I hope it's everything that they want it to be. Um, of course, when you're with Kim Kardashian, you know that she's always been known for these, shall we say, artful fashion shoots or whatever you want to call it. And I just hope that Lewis Hamilton realizes that one day he may turn on his phone or computer or whatever, and he'll see his girlfriend, maybe something closer than girlfriend. Maybe one day they'll even get married. Who knows? But his girlfriend, his wife, his partner, whatever, you may see her break the internet. But don't think that Kim Kardashian would not have some type of influence on Lewis Hamilton. Sometimes you know how they say when a couple has been together so long they start to look alike. Well, sometimes when you build a relationship, you can get really close and you start to think alike or act alike, and that kind of makes me nervous. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Lewis Hamilton's racing career, I don't know if is he retired? Is he still racing? I know he has a lot of endorsements, so um is he married? Because I have been seeing, let's see, Lewis Hamilton. I have been seeing articles about the two of them uh for the longest now. It says Kim K and Lewis Hamilton spark romance rumors with Paris moves. So, but is he married? I don't know. Let me see. I don't think so. Nope. I don't see anything about married. Oh, Oh, Kanye. This must be an old photo. I'm guessing this must be an old photo. Yeah, maybe this is an old photo. I mean, this is an old photo. But listen, you guys, if Lewis Hamilton and Kim Kardashian were to, become something more serious, what's the worst thing that can happen? Huh? What is the worst thing that could happen? Well, she might give him some advice on how to make money from his fame and his celebrity. Like maybe one day we'll see Lewis Hamilton do a fashion shoot just like Kim Kardashian. Huh? Do you think one day she might talk him into like breaking the internet himself? I was just setting you guys up for that, right? I was really setting you guys up. I was just waiting for just the right moment to spring this on you. Oh my God. When I saw this, I just about fell out of the chair. I just about fell out of the chair. But let me tell you something. He could make a lot of money. He really could make a lot of money. And just think of all the attention that he'll bring to Formula One racing. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Who knows what influence she'll have on him? You're welcome. You're welcome. Now, the Princess of Wales tells cancer sufferers they are not alone in a deeply personal message to mark World Cancer Day. Uh huh. Yes, Kate made another one of those videos with a bunch of slow motion, a voiceover, flawlessly delivered by her, and soothing music and everything. But yet there are still some that are a bit skeptical. There seems to be a bunch of, well, according to Sussex Soldier, what a coincidence, distraction, never had cancer, Kate Middleton, who prefers the, Andrew as neighbor over the Sussexes, is using the cancer card to take attention away from, you know what. Um, anyway, let me mute her and go back to the Andrew and Epstein files. So this all seems to be carefully coordinated so that Kate can somehow seem as though she is Mother Britain, Mama United Kingdom, that she can somehow be more like Queen Elizabeth II. You don't know what she's thinking about. You don't even know if she's thinking. You don't know her opinions. You'll see her dressed in her uniform, which of course is no longer the coat dress, is whatever Meghan has worn 6 months ago. Um, yeah, that's what she's doing. So it says here, uh, Kate releases new cancer video as she issues personal statement. The Princess of Wales has sought to reassure cancer patients that you are not alone. Well, as they say, she didn't have cancer in the first place. She had precancerous cells. And according to her, they had some type of preventative treatment. Um, we'll get back to that one later. But yeah, so it was said at the time that the palace confirms Kate Middleton is not undergoing cancer treatment after surgery. And then, of course, because of the declining numbers in terms of public approval of the royal family, it's very interesting that both Charles and Kate both announced surgery on the same day. Both said that they were not cancerous, only for them to later come back. And of course, they both have cancer, but we're not allowed to know what type of cancer. That is forbidden. We don't get to know it, but we just are told that that's what it was, and that's all to it. So, after about 2 years of Kate rarely addressing cancer or cancer victims, it's very rare that anyone who's going through cancer treatment has been acknowledged by Kate Middleton. But because of all of this Andrew stuff, now she is literally going into the cancer wards, something that should have happened a long time ago. And more so because of the recent criticism, Kate has decided that she needs to work. She needs to be as visible as possible. Now, me knowing Kate the way I do, this is all a setup. Kate is going to disappear for a probably until Commonwealth Day, is my guess. We won't see Kate until Commonwealth Day. Generally, that is the way things play out for Kensington Palace and Kate Middleton. She will emerge for Commonwealth Day. She'll do a little work after that, and then it's off on vacation again. And I'm willing to guarantee you that the recent surge of energy that she's had is going to lead up to a vacation for both herself and for William. They're going to take the kids on vacation. If things are the way people say that it is, that they do not live in the same house together, I'm kind of sure that these vacations are an opportunity for the entire family to be together. Because if they are actually sleeping under different roofs, then that would make sense that they would want to take the kids on vacation just to have a complete family unit. So, because they are horrible people, doesn't mean that they're horrible parents. And I do hope, for the sake of those children, that some of the things that we suspect about William's nature and about Kate is not affecting their children. Just to be fair. Okay. Um, yes, the royal family secret weapon, Mary H. The royal family secret weapon. I kind of feel like I am. No, I think this is good. Let's go on to the next thing. So the it was a holy mess. Kate made a major fashion blunder during the 2016 royal tour of India that risked offending local designers, tell new documentary. Well, um, apparently Kate wore fashions that were designed by British designers, but inspired by India. And I believe that the criticism is, why would you not just wear fashions from an Indian designer? Um, but as I said some time ago, William and Kate are handled when it comes to these tours. There's very little input from them. And they probably, in all likelihood, they leave it up to their courtiers, to their aides and assistants to put it all together. And without, let's say, a senior member of the household, let's say having someone from, at the time, Queen Elizabeth's household come over to help them. But William had this idea of doing things differently. So I don't know that they had that type of input at the time. And surely they didn't have it during the Caribbean tour, because that was a huge mistake, which is why it is important to have diversity. But as we know, the palace is not in the habit of hiring black people. They don't want people that are too intelligent. They don't like to hire thinking people. And especially with Kensington Palace, it seems like ruthless is the only prerequisite, is that you are as ruthless as they come. You don't have to be smart. You just have to be ruthless. Let's see, what is in the small print there? Princess of Wales is known as an expert in soft diplomacy, using her outfits to send subtle but powerful messages, especially on overseas visit. But in her 2016 royal tour of India, the royals' attempt at diplomatic dressing was a holy mess, according to one designer. And it's interesting that this article even exists. That is Kate Middleton. You're not supposed to be critical of Kate. I thought that was not allowed. But apparently, they she is not above reproach, I suppose. But I think it is just so unusual that there is any criticism of Kate. You know what I'm wondering? Who wrote this article? Oh, and this is from senior lifestyle reporter Alana Kosla. Is it Kosla? Kosla. And this is in on a Channel 5 documentary. Oh, that's why it's in the documentary. The program looked at the 6-day royal tour of India in 2016, where the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge rubbed shoulders with Bollywood stars, visited the Taj Mahal, and ventured, that is, on a safari as a something national park. And though she later wore one design made at an Indian factory, it was one of the few local Indian designers she has supported with her choice of outfits. Instead, in a decision considered by some to be disrespectful, the royal wore clothing with Indian patterns from British labels, both high street and designers, including Topshop, Anna Sue, and Jenny Packman. Huh. Well, so much for how smart she is. Hey, Legs. Legs, I had something that I wanted to share with you earlier. Um, you know what that says? I'll give you a minute. Do you know what that says? I actually thought about you when I grabbed that earlier. Pretty cool, right? Yes, it says Chicago. By the way, you guys, Ian McKellen, famed actor Ian McKellen is in Chicago. I believe he is doing a play. But yes, the esteemed veteran actor is in Chicago. I believe he's doing some Shakespeare something. But and I think he's really enjoying the city of Chicago. As a matter of fact, he said, I can see why people love living here, which really endeared him to me. You guys, this really, really made me mad. Baltimore mayor blasts racist question about his $164,000 taxpayer funded SUV that is most luxurious official car in Maryland. They're saying that the mayor of Baltimore has a luxurious SUV as his limousine, paid for by the taxpayers. Um, the reason why this bothers me is that, and if you have been watching Royal Sussex for some time, I don't mince words when I say this. Every time, not sometime, but every time there is a black candidate that is running for office in what is considered white spaces, those candidates are usually blanketed with death threats. Anytime a biracial, mixed race American actress marries a prince of the realm, thus becoming a princess of the realm, there is always a great deal of threats. And the people that make the threats, oddly enough, they don't tend to try to hide their identity at all. They want you to know how much disdain they have for a person of African descent. And that's just exactly the way it is. Now, right now, black mayors in cities across the United States, especially big cities, are under constant attack by right wing media. Constant attack. The goal, of course, is not just to besmirch or destroy the reputations of black politicians. It is part of this agenda to bring the Murdoch type of journalism to the smallest towns and the biggest towns across the country. They want to make sure that we're drowning in that horrible right wing journalism. And so, because this mayor is very popular, because they're probably afraid that one day he's going to run for president and win, they want to do as much as they can to expose him and tear him down. And the lady that you see there, who oddly enough is photographed and her image placed next to him as though they are equals, It sends a message. It really does send a message. So it says here, Democrat Mayor Brandon Scott rides in a nearly $164,000 2025 Jeep Grand Wagoneer, decked out. Listen to that language, decked out with $60,000 of security upgrades, including police lights, sirens, and security phone. He was grilled about his expensive transportation by reporter Tessa, is it Bentulin, who he claimed was looking for a far right angle when she asked her question. With everything that's going on in this world, this is where she wants to, I guess, raise up her sword and destroy the politician who dares spend money on something that doesn't even belong to him. This belongs to the city. It's not his personal car. The mayor of Baltimore dismissed the reporter's question about his taxpayer funded SUV as racist when grilled about the expensive executive vehicle. Democrat Mayor Brandon Scott rides in the nearly $164,000 2025 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. The vehicle is one of the most luxurious official cars in Maryland and is around twice as expensive as Maryland Governor Wes Moore's roughly $82,000 2025 Chevrolet Suburban, according to records obtained by Spotlight on Maryland. Scott's SUV, or should I say the mayor's SUV, it doesn't belong to him personally, is one of two executive vehicles in the state that cost more than $100,000, with both assigned to Baltimore city officials. An outlet uncovered, however, it noted that it did not receive responses to its request for records from the jurisdiction. At the press conference on Friday, WBFF investigative reporter Tessa Bentulin asked the Democrat Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott, "How do you justify the cost for this vehicle?" The mayor replied, "Well, just stop you right there. We get it. We understand that your station, your television station, has this severe right wing effort underway." After the reporter pressed further, Scott said, "I did not answer the question just because you didn't get the answer. You wanted your racist slant is one thing." Spotlight on Maryland examined the vehicle records from 13 what is that counties in the state and the state comptroller's office, the governor's team, and the state police. Out of all records reviewed by the outlet, the most expensive vehicle after Scott's SUV is the Chevy Tahoe assigned to Baltimore Police Commissioner Richard Worley. The majority of the vehicles assigned to officials in the state's largest counties range in cost from $45,000 to $75,000. On top of Scott's $164,000 Jeep, there's a backup vehicle, a $99,000 2023 Ford Expedition, kitted out with $20,500 security upgrade. So the city spokesperson told Spotlight on Maryland that the second vehicle for the mayor is standard protocol. During the press conference, Scott slammed the reporter's question and said that comparing the price of vehicles failed to take into, failed to take inflation and model year into account. A vehicle purchased in 2023, not the same price as the 2025. The mayor said base price for SUVs now are, as you know, between $90,000 to $100,000, which is true. The base cost of the vehicle is $100,000. There are some pickup trucks that cost $100,000. But according to the Jeep website, the 2026 Grand Wagoneer starts below $66,000. The model year of Scott's Wagoneer is 2025. Yeah, the least expensive model, the stripped down model, is probably 66,000. But the more expensive model, they can go up to 100,000. So, given the fact that the mayor represents the city, he got the more expensive one. So, I really don't understand why that's an issue. Let's see. Local Christian Health told Spotlight Maryland not a taxpayer's money if he wants it for himself. Yeah, but not okay, but not with our money. Okay, Benjamin Luster echoed the sentiment. I'm skipping through some of this because it just repeats the price of the car and who doesn't like it. But you can achieve that for way less than 160,000 is the point that they're making. But now listen to this. The statement also said a new mayoral vehicle is usually purchased every 4 years. And the one prior to Scott's vehicle was purchased in 2016. So it's been over 10 years since Baltimore has had a new executive vehicle. I don't really care about all that. But let me just say this. This is why they're going after him. This is why they're going after him. Let me show you. Brandon Scott's role. Immediate response, Mayor Scott declared a state of emergency and was praised for his emotional and human-centric leadership during the search and rescue efforts. Defense against attacks. Following the collapse, Scott faced a significant racist attacks and was baselessly labeled as a DEI mayor by some critics, which he and other leaders strongly pushed back against. Long-term recovery, he's vowed to hold all responsible entities accountable and is overseeing the city's role in the multi-year rebuilding effort, currently estimated to cost over $4 billion with a completion date of 2030. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to say it again. If the mayor of Baltimore wants a armor-plated, security upgraded vehicle as the executive of the city, he is perfectly entitled. The car has $60,000 worth of upgrades, which is the reason why it is more than $100,000, which includes all of the bells and whistles that you would get on a standard police car. That is costly. But this is part of the goal to tear him down so that in the future, if he decides he wants to run for president And he would be a tremendous candidate, I could assure you, because this guy is very sharp. So, him and just about anybody else like him, their goal is to destroy his character before he even gives it a consideration. How much is a police cruiser? Let's see. Listen to this. A new base model police cruiser, such as the 2026 Ford Police Interceptor utility, typically costs between $45,000 to $50,000 before unfitting, fully equipped with police gear. I'm sorry, before upfitting, fully equipped with police gear, lights, sirens, cage. Total costs often exceed 60 to over $100,000 per unit. Used retired police vehicles generally cost 5,000 to 30,000 depending on the condition and mileage. So right here it's letting you know that a police car, a high-end unit, some customized and specialized vehicles such as those used for specialized duty can exceed $100,000. Again, what is the problem? What is the problem? Kim Coates says, hi, Baron. As a Baltimore native, I can say that Scott is an outstanding mayor. When major incidents or crime happens, day or night, he shows up. He deserves a secure vehicle. Thank you for saying that. I don't think I've ever even been to Baltimore, but I've only heard good things about this guy. Let me see. The commissioner in Chicago has two black Tahoes with all the bells and whistles, and he's not the mayor. Heller. Oh, when I saw this article, it just made my blood boil. You know, I don't like the occupant of the White House, but you will never hear me criticize the transportation or the cost of the transport. It comes with the job. It comes with the job, period. It does not matter. That comes with it. $60,000 upgrade for an executive secure vehicle. I'm assuming it has ballistic glass. I'm assuming it has the run flat tires. All of those things that make it safe. And as you say, when something goes down, he shows up night or day. He's on it. Give the man a secure car to be in. That's all I'm saying. But as I say, anytime it involves a black politician, these are the questions that are asked. Do you remember how they were trying to criticize Obama for vacations? Even though Obama took far fewer vacations than George Bush. And I remember when the current occupant of the White House, he said before he even got sworn in, he said, I'm going to be working so much, I'm not going to have time for vacations. I'm going to be so busy, and so on and so on and so on. This man is costing the U.S. taxpayer a fortune. He spends his weekends at a resort where they jacked up the price that the Secret Service pays for housing. Any place that he goes that is one of his properties, the price of housing the Secret Service is the highest price possible. And not only that, the Secret Service actually pays a leasing fee for their security office at Mar-a-Lago, um, at the Trump Tower, and it doesn't come cheap. But you don't see any criticism about it because he's the president, and that's what comes with it. But instead of this lady spending her time, and Baltimore is not far from Washington, instead of her spending her time considering things like that, or I'll go one better for you. What about this? The very capricious president destroyed the east wing of the White House and lied about it. Well, they're not going to affect the east wing. And then it was, well, part of the east wing will be demolished. And eventually, all the way up until you get to the wall, the outer wall of the White House, the oldest part of the house, everything was destroyed. Everything completely leveled, raised, flattened. And she's worried about a $164,000 executive armored security enhanced Jeep Wagoneer. Yeah, they do. They do. The Secret Service is paying for everything, meaning that the US taxpayers are paying for everything. Yeah, it does. That's exactly what's happening. But she's not going to talk about that. She has to go after the mayor of Baltimore. And then, of course, there's always going to be someone who will say, well, she's not racist. She's just doing her job. Oh, now she's doing her job. Now she's doing her job. She could easily be a reporter for the Daily Mail, for the Sun, or any of those papers. I wonder who owns the television station that she works. And this is the same thing that they do to the mayor of Chicago. This is the same thing they do to the mayor of Los Angeles, the mayor of Washington, D.C. The exact same thing. Everything is gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, and I'm sure that's just for the aircraft, but I'm sure that doesn't take into account the Secret Service, which, by the way, I'm sure that there's a Secret Service presence at Mar-a-Lago at all times since he owns a property there. He has a home there. He has the old Mar-a-Lago mansion itself. Just like during the time of the Obamas, there were always Secret Service agents at the Obama home in Chicago, and there may very well still be that presence there. But again, that comes with the job. But every time it's a black person, everything changes. It always changes. What was not even thought about yesterday is a huge issue today. Now, take a look at that. The Queen's little cabin that she had on the Balmoral estate, when she wanted to get away from the main house, she would go and stay in that cabin. That's the same cabin where Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein pictured lounging in the Queen's log cabin at Balmoral after being invited by Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew literally gave this man the keys to the kingdom. Andrew made it possible for him to enjoy the same luxuries that belong to the Queen. And there on the right side, there's Maxwell and Kevin Spacey literally sitting on the thrones. Literally sitting on the thrones. And of course, Kevin Spacey is in the Queen's seat. Or no, is that, I think that's the Queen's seat. Whichever one is elevated, the Queen is always supposed to sit a little higher, even if it's just 1 inch. So, of course, he would be in the Queen's chair. Why wouldn't he? I made a joke there. Can a member of the royal family go to jail? I believe the law is so long as you're in the presence of the monarch, you cannot be arrested. When the Home Office wanted to take away Andrew's security, the Queen immediately intervened to stop it. He didn't have to sue. She gets involved when she wants to do so, but she only wants to do so when it involves protecting Andrew. So Andrew keeps his £300,000 a year taxpayer-funded bodyguards. And of course, there on the right, Prince Harry was forced to become 100% self-sufficient after stepping back from his royal role. But Andrew thought a short list of honors worse off. Though a short list of honors worse off, will continue to luxuriate in nearly all of the trappings of royal life. That was, of course, from Omid Scobie. And then, of course, let us not forget the Queen making sure that people realized that she totally had confidence and, yes, approved of him by making sure that he was seen smiling and grinning as they go off to church together. And, of course, the Queen insisted that he was invited to Prince Philip's memorial service. Now, that is, what's his name? What's his name? I forgot his name. Anyway, let me cue this one up for you. I'm very proud of them because they managed to get through this without mentioning the Sussexes. That is so difficult for them to do sometimes. A.N. Wilson, that's right. A.N. Wilson. And it's so difficult for them to get through anything without speaking of the Sussexes. But praise the Lord, they were able to do that.
Go on forever somehow or another, and I no longer do. The great Victorian journalist Walter Bagehot said, "Don't let daylight in on the magic," as far as the monarchy was concerned. Well, once Prince Charles's marriage to Lady Di had split up, and Princess Anne got divorced, and then Prince Andrew came along with this ridiculous wife, Fergie. It was impossible not to let daylight in on the magic, and the magic vanished, I'm afraid. And although the king has done his best in his old age with the coronation ceremony and all that to try and make the monarchy seem magic again, it never will be again. And this story, this Epstein story, and the photo of Prince Andrew kneeling over this unfortunate person lying on the floor somewhere, whether it's in Paris or New York, it doesn't really matter where it is. And now the story today about Fergie going to see Epstein with her daughters, only days after she'd been let out of prison for very serious offences. This taints the royal family. To quote the great Lord Mandelson, it's like dog muck. It's never going to go away, the stench of this.
Should we assume that there is nothing actually, in a historical context, nothing unusual about Andrew's behaviour, nothing unusual about Sarah Ferguson's behaviour in a historical context? The difference is now this stuff leaks. We know about it. We see it.
What I'm saying.
We see him bent
There isn't a great difference in the way people behave. And certainly when you think, as I say, of George IV or William IV or Charles II with his string of mistresses who ended up as duchesses and things, there isn't a great difference in the way the royal family has behaved. There's a huge difference in the way we, the press, the journalists and the public want the royal family to be. And we want to have this image. We don't worship politicians. We don't think of them as squeaky clean and pure. But we, think of the outpouring of genuine grief for the Queen because she seemed almost like a saint.
Yeah. But so when there have been troublesome royals in the past, what methods have been used to remove them from public life, short of, the obvious chopping block?
Well, the closest we've had to a chopping block in relatively recent history was the abdication when Edward VIII was sacked. He could easily have stayed on and, if necessary, married a divorced woman. He just said, I'm changing the rules. He's the boss. But
as indeed our current king is.
He changed the rules.
Yeah.
And I think what happened in the case of Edward VIII, everybody knew he was very dodgy on lots of levels. He was probably being blackmailed by the Nazis. He certainly was pro-Nazi. And later, the stuff that's emerged about the kind of remarks he was making to the Germans when the war broke out, saying that, if only they bombed London, they would crush the spirit of the British and they'd assassinate George VI and put Edward VIII. I mean, once that emerged, we realized they were right to sack him in 1936. But the alleged reason for sacking him was that he wanted to marry an American divorcee.
Look, so on Times Radio yesterday, Chris Philp suggested that Andrew should be removed from the line of succession. Is there any historical or legal precedent for doing that? I don't think there is.
I think it would be extremely difficult to do that.
I mean, presumably, I guess, when Edward abdicated, he was kind of removed from the line of succession. You can only do that once you get to the top.
He was removed, yes. Yeah. And also had a miracle occurred and Mrs. Simpson had a baby. That wouldn't have been in the line of succession. But I think it would be very difficult. I mean, assuming that nothing happens to the children of Kate Middleton and Prince William, but it is conceivable a bomb to be thrown or something like that, then Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, Mr. Windsor, would be the King of England. And that would be the end of the monarchy. There's no question about that. What
about this idea that he could be compelled to give testimony to Congress? Is there any precedent for that sort of thing?
No. And I don't know what testimony he would give, quite honestly, because I think it would be a bit of theatre. But I think they're going to do it, don't you? I mean, if they got we've just been listening, the Clintons are going. I think I shouldn't
think they'll send him over. I can see him doing some kind of video link
on Zoom. Video link.
Wow. Yeah. I mean,
you see, as a game will have the most appalling effect on the way the British regard their monarchy in general. Even though we know the king's done everything he can to strip this person of his titles, etc., 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 it all reflects back on the royal family in general.
For all the damage it does, how bad do things have to get before we don't have a monarchy? Because, I mean, you'd think we've got to get a good deal worse than this before people had actually finally had enough.
I mean, if they were head out for murder or something of the kind. But the point is, you're missing out one rather key ingredient. Who would want to be the monarch with all this going on? And, there are quite strong signs that Prince William only half wants to be the monarch.
Yeah, sure.
And I mean, if I were Prince George, I'd be already saying, Dad, I do not want to do this job.
Do you think then in 100 years' time, when we look back at the history of the monarchy in the 20th and 21st century, right now, this will be considered as significant as anything else?
I do, because I used to think the monarchy would go on forever somehow or another, and I no longer do.
Wow.
Okay, so that was the Times Radio. That was A.N. Wilson. I'm sure that if you go to their thing, you can see a much longer conversation. I didn't watch it. I just saw this on social media and shared it with you. But yeah, there you have it. A lot to unpack there. But like you said, I wouldn't have thought that it would end. But now he's starting to get the idea that maybe one day it will. You know, it's a semantical exercise. A lot of these things that they say is to infuriate the voters. I remember when they said Hillary Clinton wants to take your weapons away from you while she's protected by the Secret Service. Well, I believe that in countries where most people are not allowed to own a firearm, the leader of that country is still provided with around the clock full time armed security. So what? What difference does it make? I myself, I am an advocate for, well, I won't say I'm an advocate, but I do believe in gun control. And I wish that there was a day when they just took all of the weapons away. But that's not going to happen in the US because there are more guns than people. So it's just a dream. It probably won't ever happen. But you know, if it did, I would not lose any sleep over it. But that being said, I would still want whoever is president to have armed security. But yet they made this argument, this ridiculous argument, and it was, of course, during the election time and everything. Um, and they just say stuff like that to build up hostility, to get people angry enough to fundraise and go out and vote and all that kind of stuff. So, what can you do? It is part of what comes with the role as First Lady, which, by the way, you guys, First Lady is an unpaid position. It is an unpaid position. The office has a budget, but there's no salary for the First Lady. Well, you guys are having a nice conversation here. Mm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Keep them out of reach, right? uh, you all are funny. Okay. So, again, they're out, he's in. They're out, and he's in. And until we know better, he's still in and they're still out. About the only thing that could rescue them is if they could somehow get the Sussexes to come over and create a huge distraction. That is about the only thing that could save them right now. Otherwise, it is going to be a very long summer, a very, very long summer. And I'm kind of glad that that this is happening with Andrew, and because the man has been getting a free pass, and if you ask me, he still is not being scrutinized enough. This is not really as damaging as it should be. Okay. So, some time ago, it was 77% want a criminal investigation into Prince Andrew. Only 46% of the public now support the monarchy. Oh, I wonder what the new numbers are for the monarchy. Oh, I wonder what the new numbers are. I think it's going to stay around 40%. I don't suspect it's going to dip under 40%. I'm going to go and take a look at Republic and see what it says. You know, there's going to be a lot of people signing up for Republic because of this. Speaking of Republic, I do have something I want to share with you all from Republic. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. Um, I am still angry about the Baltimore SUV. That makes me so angry. You have no idea. The caucasity of it all. How dare they? Okay, almost ready. Give me just a second here, and I will share with you. Okay. All right, I think we're ready. This happened today outside of Buckingham Palace. Gotcha. Well, well, huh? Was that fun?
Well, well. Next question. See ya.
Uh-huh. Next question. Well, well. I love this for them. I love it. After all they put the Sussexes through, it's what they deserve. Yep, after all they put the Sussexes through, it's what they really deserve. Well, well. Oh, I'm not surprised. I'm totally not surprised. You know, I posted that on my Twitter account just to make the derangers crazy. Now, I have something else I want to share with you. This happened today. Okay, give me just a second. It's coming. Okay, it is coming, you guys. Oh, you're going to love it. Uh-oh. No, I can't use that one. Wait a minute. That one will get me in trouble. Hold on a second. Let me try this again. Okay, this is better. I will share this with you. You know, the other day I shared that image of Camilla when she was hoofing it. This one is a little more personal. You'll see. Oh, Lord, why is that like that? Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's no good either. Let me try this one more time. Let me try this one more time. Okay, coming up. Glad I caught that. Here goes.
Good morning, Your Majesty. Good morning. Will the royal family help the Epstein investigation? Do you have a message for Epstein's victims, Your Majesty?
Ooh.
Good morning, Your Majesty. Good morning. Will the royal family help the Epstein investigation? Do you have a message for Epstein's victims, Your Majesty? Good morning, Your Majesty. Good morning. Will the royal family help the Epstein investigation? Do you have a message for Epstein's victims, Your Majesty?
Do you have a oh, wait. And how about this oldie but goodie?
Epstein! How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you been covering up for Andrew?
Go away, Manny. Go away. That's enough. There's children here, right? Police officer, right? You carry on, you can be arrested for breach of peace. Okay. Oh, skin the way.
How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you been covering up for Andrew?
Go away, Manny. Go away. That's enough. There's children here, right? Police officer, right? You carry on, you can be arrested for breach of peace. Okay. Oh, skin the way.
I'm a police officer. There's children here, all right? I'm a police officer. There's children here. So you're not allowed to do that because there's children here, all right? And I am a police officer. So knock it off. Ain't that some nerves? Ain't that some nerves? So much for freedom of speech. I wish I could find the one where Charles got confronted outside of the church. That one I cannot find. Yeah, that one I cannot find. Where Charles was confronted about Andrew. Remember when he moved to strip him of his titles? Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Too bad I cannot find that one. Yeah. Oh, man. That is unfortunate. Maybe I don't have it anymore. Oh, well. Well, there you go. Let's see. Did you hear the lady yelling at them? Oh, yes. You know what? You're so right. Let me play that again in case anybody missed it.
Epstein! How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you been covering up for Andrew?
Go away, Manny.
Yes, I heard it.
That's enough. There's children here, right? Police officer, right? You carry on, you can be arrested for breach of peace. Okay. Oh, skin the way.
How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you been covering up for Andrew?
Go away, Manny. Go away. That's enough. There's children here, right? Police officer, right? You carry on, you can be arrested for breach of peace. Okay. Oh, skin the way.
You know, this has been brewing for a long time. This has been brewing for a long time. Louis Mountbatten, and of course, even what's that guy, Forsyth, the one that was an aide to Charles? He was accused by one of the staff people. One of the male staff people said that he was assaulted by that person. You know, assaulted in that way. And nothing was done about it. And unfortunately, eventually this person passed away. So These powerful people have been doing this a long time. Probably have been doing it for, well, I even hate to think about that. When Edwina and Louis were in, Louis was what, the last viceroy of India? They were notorious. They were notorious as a couple. And then, of course, Louis Mountbatten being in Ireland or Northern Ireland. I mean, it was just, there are people that are still alive today who they were young men living, well, they were children living in that orphanage. And it was very well known that the Queen's cousin or uncle, whatever he was, were back and forth to that place. This is only the tip of the iceberg. If they ever really did a full investigation of the institution, of the government, and by the way, you can take those same investigators, well, not the same, but the equivalent investigators to Washington, D.C., they'd have to shut that place down and thoroughly clean it. They'd have to shut it down because there's so much of that going on there. It may not have been some pizzeria like they were told, but there are definitely some pretty foul people out there. People with diseased minds. Aren't they, though? Oh, my goodness, they are. Hazel Jones, you have said a word. That is overtime. They are imploding. They are imploding. And there's Meghan rising above it all. Happy, hardworking. And of course, Harry, with all of his responsibilities, they are very quiet about the Sussexes right now. Extremely quiet. And I hope this lasts. I pray that this is the way it is for here on out, that they will occasionally have a story about them, but instead of trying to feature them every day for nonsense. This picture, I don't know if I've ever shared it with you guys before, but what is happening here? During a period when you can see from that photo, he looks a little younger. During one of those periods when his career, I'm not certain that his career, but his reputation was in the toilet, he decided to try and clean up his reputation. I believe it was one of the daughters, probably Beatrice, who said, "Dad, we need you to help us volunteer something, something, something." And so he was photographed carrying these little shopping bags filled with whatever complimentary items. It's laughable to think that one of the worst people in the history of the royal family, one of the worst people alive in the United Kingdom today, would hold up these bags as though they were prized possessions for the volunteers or the whoever the people were. I forget. But there he is trying to look as though he has nothing on his mind but serving the community. Yep. He froze and took that photo and probably went right back in the house, changed his clothes, and went horseback riding, or sent an email to you know who knows. But this is so contrived and so fake. And by the way, it didn't work. I think it was some other revelation that came out right after he took this photo. Nice try though, but it just looks ridiculous. But it seems as though he and Sarah Ferguson, all they thought about was money, 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 money. And of course, no, you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself because certainly Edward was not only thinking about money, but also about, new people to meet, if you know what I mean. It's just so sad and pathetic. And Sarah Ferguson, I really did want to believe better of her, but it's impossible. If you looked at the wider image of her foot in this man's mouth, do you guys know that Beatrice and Eugenie was there in their little tiny bathing suits walking around while mommy was being inappropriate? They were there. They were there. They were poolside when this photo was taken. It's so much to be said about her character and her judgment. That was disgusting. This very intimate act is taking place. And by the way, I do believe that Sarah was topless along with all of that. Mm-mm-mm. Well, and of course, Operation Cleanup. How are they going to work their way out of this is unknown, but they're going to try. I just hope they can do it without invoking Harry and Meghan's name. Oh, you think they were just standing there looking at him? I saw the photo one time, but in my mind's eye, I know they were there, but I don't remember whether. But it just makes sense they would have, though. It's one thing if you want to carry on, but do not involve your children. It's just like, remember the guy, Anthony Weiner? Remember Anthony Weiner? The one who was sending images of himself. He'd stand in the mirror and send pictures of his body and stuff like that. Do you remember when he took, oh gosh, I feel like I want to barf thinking about this. When he took that picture of his, let's just say underwear. He was wearing underwear. Oh, I can't say it. I can't say it. Say it for me, Hazel. You remember what happened. Oh, I can't even fix my mouth to say it, but it was just weird. It was just weird. And I don't know how do you do something like that? What was going through his head when he did that? What was going through his head when he did that? He took the photo. He took the photo, right? Oh, okay. I know how I could say it without saying it because I really don't want to say it. But the same way Beatrice and Eugenie was sitting there watching somebody play with their mother's foot, right? When he took I never mind. I can't do it. Oh, and this guy, what has he gotten himself into? What has he gotten himself into? He married into that family. That's what he's gotten himself into. See there? I thought this was funny. One of the squatties says, social climber Eduardo, let me see, Mapelli Mosey only just realized he climbed up the wrong family. Yes, he was trying to, yeah. Oh, thank you, Hazel Jones. And by the way, yuck. How do I say it? Okay, I'll just say he was wearing his swimming trunks, if you know what I mean. But why take a picture like that? Why take a picture like that? Anthony Weiner, why would you take a picture like that? That was so inappropriate. So inappropriate. And of course, that is what led to their divorce. You know, Uma, whatever the woman's name is, she used to work for Hillary Clinton. She tried to at least, but when that photo came out, I believe that was the end of their marriage. You're taking this picture and you're sending it to someone to entice them. That man was sick. He was sick. Something was wrong with his mind. Poor impulse control, poor judgment, whatever you want to call it. With the child nearby. And then he sends the picture. Oh, gosh. That was a terrible mistake. Oh, but you know what I'm saying? Why would you take a picture like that? Let me get these two off the screen because it ain't got nothing to do with them. But why would you take a picture like that and then send it to someone? That man had the worst possible. His ego was just too big for his own good. He thought that everybody desired and wanted him. With the child near him. Just like here, with the children nearby. You know, I'm glad someone took that picture. I'm glad that she was exposed. But it doesn't seem like that stopped her from doing stupid things. I mean, the week that Epstein gets out of jail, that first time he went to jail, he, I believe he had been found guilty or whatever. And she takes her daughters to go and visit him. Why would you do that? Why? Oh, you don't mean it. You don't mean that he took that picture deliberately. Oh, no. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that. Oh, that upsets me. I don't want to believe that. I want to believe that person was on some type of stimulant, chemical dependent, or something like that. Oh my gosh, that was awful. Oh man. I'm sure that his wife or ex-wife, I'm sure she went into mourning after that. mourning the loss of the innocence of her family. That is the way that she will be remembered, for being married to him. What a pig. Just an absolute pig. I hated that. Which just goes to show, people think that stuff like that would only happen in a poor household. That's something that only happens to poor people who, um, don't have any manners or anything like that. But nope, 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 nope. It could happen to anybody. Or should I say, it's possible it can happen in any household. Now, Trinidadian immigrant Nicki Minaj tells British immigrant Prince Harry to go home. She had the nerves to say that Harry should go home. She had the nerves to say that she felt like she knew them and that she doesn't want to be, what did she say? She didn't want to be negative or critical, but airing the family's secrets and all that kind of stuff, she said. Oh, that's right. I think I did hear that. Oh, why, what is wrong with these people? What was it about him that drew so many people into his circle? You know what I'm saying? What was it about him that made that possible? Oh, Black Lily, I hate to think of it, but considering, oh, I just had that vision go through my head. Remember when they were looking at the flowers and everything outside of, was it Balmoral? And Andrew and all of them went to the gate and everything. And I don't want to say it. But remember the weirdness at the gate involving one of his kids? Weirdness. I was just frozen when I saw that. I was looking, I'm like, what am I looking at? Wait, how is this happening? That was really bad. These people are just weirdos. At least Harry is helping people, right? At least Harry is helping people. It seems like the only thing Nicki Minaj is trying to do is to help herself and her pervert husband and pervert brother. That's the only thing she's doing, is trying to help herself. She's not interested in anybody but her. And her kinfolk. Yes, Joyce Anderson, and she's trying to help her brother and her husband. You know, wouldn't it be something if we wake up like in the next couple of days and find out that she's been deported? Nicki Minaj tells podcasters she thinks infamous conspiracy theory is true. Yeah, she doesn't believe there was a lunar landing. Yeah, they have given this girl a platform and she won't shut up. Now that she has a platform, she won't stop a talking. Or should I say, she's been given access to a platform. So, Republic, Graham Smith says monarchy is a terrible idea. Monarchy is a terrible idea. And he took this list of crowns from across Europe and he crossed out the ones that no longer are represented that way. But as for the rest of them, well, he said what they have, and that is scandal. They're all embroiled in scandals. Let me see. Belgium. There was a thing about the daughter, where was it the king or the crown prince trying to deny her paternity? That's one scandal I know of. And Denmark, well, we know what's happening there. Where the current king of Denmark was having an affair and or was allegedly having an affair. He spent the night at that woman's house that time. That was kind of dirty. And let me see. Liechtenstein. What scandal do they have? What scandal do they have? Scandals involving the Liechtenstein royal family? I don't know that there's any scandals with them. Oh, tax evasion, banking secrecy, wartime history. I don't see any scandal for them. Let me see. Monaco. Oh my God. Where do we start with them? The Netherlands. What scandal do they have? I'm not aware of one. Well, Norway, we know what's up with them, and Sweden. UK all day long. Spain. Well, Juan Carlos. Yeah, Juan Carlos, the dad, right? The one who broke his hip trying to shoot an elephant or tripped over an elephant or something like that, got kicked by an elephant. Oh, well. But there you have it. These are the crowns of Europe: Austria, Bavaria, Belgium, Bohemia, Bulgaria, Croatia, Denmark, France, the Holy Roman Emperor, Hungary, and of course, Liechtenstein, Lombardy, which is in Italy, Luxembourg, Monaco. Monaco doesn't have a crown. The Netherlands, Norway, Poland. Yeah, there used to be a king of Poland, right? Portugal, Romania, Russia, Serbia, Spain, Sweden, United Kingdom, and the Vatican. Why does the Vatican, well, they call it a tiara. It is like a triple crown. Why does it look like something that makes espresso drinks, right? It looks like you can pull some shots of espresso from the papal crown. No, did not know that. February has 4 even weeks. Well, thank you for sharing that. I had no idea. How often does that happen? I thought Juan Carlos fell out of bed on a hunting trip. I thought he had one of those big muskets, you know, the kind where you got to put the ball inside of it and then pack it with gunpowder. I thought he had one of those. And then when he finally tried to shoot it, he flipped backwards and fell over a tree limb or something. That was a story I heard. Anyway, my story is more fun. Brooklyn Beckham removes tattoo tribute to his father, Sir David, in another crushing blow after his scathing statements were where he declared that is, he did not want to reconcile with his family. Yeah, they say he took his tattoo off or that he, had it lasered or whatever. Yes, the Pope is from Chicago and a White Sox fan. I was around the White Sox that day when they won the World Series back in 2005. Who knows? I may have seen the Pope and didn't know who he was. But I did see Barack Obama that day, Senator Obama. Well, okay. Well, we'll end with this one. Is it Fix-A-Flat? Is it helium gas rather? What is making everything so tight? I mean, to tell you, whatever it is that they're doing to keep her looking as young as possible, I do think it's taking a toll. Yeah. Something is pulled just a little bit too tight. Let's see. Will he rename his hot sauce? That's based on his dad's Real Madrid jersey, too. I don't know, but if it's anything that is going to be scandalous, I hope he will. It'd be fun if he does. Also, one of the squatties pointed out that Kate probably needed a little hand cream, some hand lotion or whatever. I mean, you couldn't help but notice, right? Just a little ashy and in desperate need of a manicure. All right. Well, there you have it. I am going to say goodnight before all of the air or all of the stuffing deflates out of Kate's face. Whatever is holding it up so tight. Yeah. Whatever's keeping it so, tight. Almost doesn't look real, does it? Good night, Mary H. Cookies and cream. Hazel. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Royal Sussex. Cheers. Love you guys. See you next time.